Let's look at the first verse again. Which type of transportation does this verse talk about? Yes, it's about trams. Trams run on Hong Kong Island only. This kind of transportation is over 100 years old. So we can call it ancient. Ancient, it means something that comes from the olden days. Do you know trams are the cheapest form of transportation in Hong Kong? It only costs $2.60 for adults and $1.30 for children. Trams have two decks, the upper and the lower deck. Now, the reason why it can be so cheap or inexpensive is because there is no air conditioning inside and it runs on electricity, so it saves a lot of energy. Let's read out the first verse again. How should I get from A to B? Which way is the best for me? Here, to get from A to B is an expression that means to go from one place to the next. The author Barry is thinking about which kind of transportation is best for him. I don't like waiting. I'm too impatient. Trams are slow because they are ancient. Well, Barry tells us that he doesn't like waiting and he's often not patient. So the tram is not for him because to him they are too slow and too old. Although trams are slow, they are a cheap way to go. The views on top are better than below. Here, Barry points out that there's an opposite idea, and he used although to connect these two ideas together. Trams are slow, which is not so good, but they are cheap and it's inexpensive, so that part of it is good. Therefore, he can use although to connect the two together. Now here, because the trams have upper decks and the lower decks, so the passengers on top will have better views than the people sitting down below. Let's take a look at the second verse. Which type of transportation does this verse talk about? Yeah, there are two kinds of transportation, the minibus and the taxi. I don't like standing up all the time, so a minibus or taxi for me is fine. So for these two kinds of transportation, passengers can only sit down. So Barry doesn't have to stand up. Maybe he's a little bit lazy. He used so here to tell us the reason and the result. The reason is I don't like standing up all the time, and it leads to the result. So a minibus or taxi for me is fine. Although taxis are comfortable, they are not cheap. I can sit in the back and have a little sleep. Here, Barry again used although to point out opposite meanings. Taxis are comfortable, so it is good, but they are not cheap, so that's not so good. He connected the two opposite meaning with although and a comma. I can sit down in the back and have a little sleep, because passengers always sit at the back and the driver will be sitting in the front and he can enjoy, relax and sleep. Minibuses are cheaper and I always get a seat. They are cool inside when it's hot in the street. Now, minibuses are not so expensive than taxi, and he always gets a seat when he gets onto the minibus. A minibus can take 16 passengers. They are cool inside because there's air conditioning when it is hot in the street. In the summer, it's really nice to have air conditioning. So, do you think Barry likes to think taxi or minibus is a better option.